Brazeau behind the net. Shot, score! Trent Frederic is on the board as he takes that feed from Brazeau.
The only defenseman on the ice is Evan Bouchard. So it's a power play, basically. Here's a quick chance, and now McDavid, quick chance, and there is the power play goal. Draisaitl hammers it home. Michkov is going to have to clear the zone and change. In the meantime, Kulak directs a pass to Janmark. Ristolainen sees it go off the pass. Pearson, and a beautiful finish. Now Ekholm rolls up top, drops it for McDavid. Down low, Couturier beat McDavid. One-timer score! Tying goal, Evan Bouchard! McDavid in on Ersson. Denied! What a save, Ersson! Center pass, Draisaitl shoots and scores! Edmonton 4, Philadelphia 3! With Janmark and Perry, Kulak a shot into heavy traffic. Janmark couldn't locate. Kulak a blast and he scores! Spinning, centering, Draisaitl stone, short side. Hyman, Draisaitl. Ekholm a blast, redirected. There's McDavid and he scores! McDavid nudged toward the middle. It's tracked underneath Josi. Man fell down. Kulak shoots and scores! But the Stars did not get it out. Wyatt Johnston had it stripped from behind by Draisaitl. Here's McDavid, centering pass open. Nugent-Hopkins over to Draisaitl and he scores!
Palatnot and really adding to the offense. Send in Mangiapane alone. Off the head fake. He scores! Andrew Mangiapane!
4:15 gone, third period. Tied at 3. Now Parayko ahead. Pass to Neighbors. Now for Kapanen. He busts in. Shoots. He scores! Kapanen!
Bobby Brink double team. He turns it over. McMichael sets up Mangiapane shorthanded. Score! Two shorthanded goals.
Here's Svechnikov in the centering pass.
Sneaking up on a lot of people.
Only 3 other teams have done that in the history of the league. Here's McDavid shooting and scoring! To McDavid. Bouchard will give it right back to his captain. Draisaitl to McDavid to the net. Stopped! And it trickled through Anderson.
Luke Hughes and Jake Allen will be happy if the Devils can get this thing tied up.
Francois Chiron got tangled up with Paul Cotter. Puck comes back to Cotter. He centers, score! Curtis Lazar is his first of the year. Tie game.
Dominated for most of this hockey game. Bouchard, Arvidsson, nifty play to Draisaitl with Letang back. Draisaitl fires and scores! Arvidsson. Bouchard fires and scores! So we'll keep an eye on that developing situation as Letang looks to move it up to Brian Rust. Edmonton a 2-0 lead off a turnover. It's Nugent-Hopkins with his first of the year.
A great save again by Stuart Skinner to get across to the right pad. Just read that entirely the whole way.
Ekholm shoots and scores. 4-0 Edmonton. That hockey game for you. 5 o'clock start from the state capital of Ohio. Draisaitl back here through the crease, tipped in by Mana. Nearly 57% coming in, league's best. And Detroit was middle of the pack, but the Leafs have been good today. A rocket by Bouchard ties the game. Finally carried in by Ekholm, but now the penalty to Copp is over. He's on the ice. We've got 4-on-4. McDavid to Ekholm. He centers, tipped home by Draisaitl. Another post for Edmonton. Nurse hobbled Olivier. Wrist shot, score. Ekholm breaks up the shutout bid.
Brian Warsofsky said to his pregame he's optimistic about the timetable for Celebrini. He thinks he's around the corner.
Score from the point. It's Jake Wallman with a rocket.
Quality start thus far. Halfway into this hockey game in Nashville. McCarron fell down. Draisaitl breakaway. He scores. Kept it alive for Ekholm, who will scamper out of the zone with no problem. Deliver a perfect pass to Draisaitl, play onside. Draisaitl's in, shoots, scores! Have a back-to-back on the late weekend. Sunday in Calgary, Monday in New Jersey. Here's Nurse to Hyman, shoots and scores!
Elusive work from Lapierre, picking up speed through center. Send it out wide, get the return pass, pop, rebound, score! Mangiapane, it's 3-0.
Oilers without Connor McDavid for their second straight game. However, they pick up the win. And what does Leon Draisaitl do? 2 goals and assists in Nashville. Draisaitl with the puck, scores! Oilers trying to hustle up their clear, they do. Into Nugent Hopkins, some room. Back in front, pump shot, who scored? Zach Hyman. Rebound, Kadri. Jurgovich at the side, band on that. Draisaitl, 6 seconds, moves it over. Janmark, empty net, scores.
Boards deliberately. Nugent Hopkins, a point-per-game player against Vegas, historically. Backhands it over. Nurse a drive, scores! Hyman, McDavid, and Draisaitl loaded up off that successful kill. Here's a turnover, and Hyman scores!
Pettersson's in deep. Achari couldn't tee it up, and the Caps look to break. Slow developing 2-on-1, and they score! Andrew Mangiapane!
Fan on his pass. Now he steps around Omar. Back to Ekholm. Here's Draisaitl, side of the net. McDavid cuts in front. Hyman backhander stop. Draisaitl scores on the rebound. Leon Draisaitl able to pull that puck. Likely be put to work again here as the Oilers get their third power play. They're 0 for 2, but they look dangerous. There's a chance in front. Hyman stop. McDavid scores on the rebound. Juleson sends that one ahead. Tipped the other way by Emberson. McDavid into the Vancouver zone. Finds the trailer. Kulak. Wrist shot. Scores.
Draisaitl threads it through. That went untouched. Climbed up on the boards. Picked up by McDavid, who gets it back from Bouchard. Heads for the net. One-timer scores. And then Hyman banged one off the post. Left and right post. Kiss that time. Wrist shot. Bouchard finally scores. 2-1 Edmonton. George closes quickly on him. Dobson against Nugent Hopkins up the right-hand side. McDavid took Wallstrom out to the net for Nugent Hopkins. A backhander, he scored. Drop pass Bouchard. They'll change. New York can't do it. They've got Draisaitl and McDavid against the tired Pollock, and Draisaitl scores the winner. This Marchessault ran into his own man and then gave it away to Nurse. Now Draisaitl with McDavid, 2-on-1. Draisaitl across. One-timer score! Bounces free McDavid. Centering pass. Spinning Nugent Hopkins. Janmark. Back to Kulak. Nurse fires and scores! Nurse will join the rush. Here's Draisaitl. Waiting. McDavid. Shadowed by Forsberg. Chuck him free. One-timer score!
And then it's sent over to the near side by Coyle, who originally had that pass coming to him. Coyle. Now it's pumped out in front. They score! Trent Frederick, the St. Louis kid, able to bury it right out in front of Penny. Jams it over to the far side. Walker couldn't get it out. Gloved by Coyle. Tried to flip it back down low. Lohrei shoots. They score! Trent Frederick with the tip out in front. He's got 2 goals here in the first period.
Tied up in front of the net. Oilers clear down the ice. Here comes Janmark in front of the net. Scores! It's a beauty for Adam Henrique. Bouchard for Nugent Hopkins. It'll come back to Bouchard. And Draisaitl fired. Open net. Goal for Connor McDavid. McDavid once again. Watched by Tavares. And into the corner. Draisaitl out in front. Down scores. Leon Draisaitl. Bouchard works his way through the middle of the ice. Beautiful drive, shot, score! Unbelievable from Evan Bouchard!
Wants to play that high offensive game, but once you get here and realize it's a difficult league, you've got to dial it in.
But Colson stepped it off the pads, the rebound, belted home. The Edmonton captain reels it in, gives it up for Bouchard. McDavid, a shot, scores! Blew it right by the blocker. That's his second of the game. And the Senators were playing pass and were able to break it up. Great play at center ice by Henrique, and now Draisaitl backhand score from McDavid. Nugent Hopkins up the gut, second time, makes it through to Derek Ryan, and he'll head for the net. And pokes it home from Derek Ryan. And boy, did Ryan and Nugent Hopkins need that.
Back to Granlund. He'll get down the wall and in. Granlund looking for help. He's got a man. It's Walman. He scores! Jake Walman!
Talking to a lot of guys in the room, they like their mix. They like that everybody knows their identity and what they have to do to be successful as a team. So for Edmonton,
a squibber! Well defended and dumped to the ice by Kulak, and now the Oilers might have an on-man rush brewing. It's Draisaitl. One-timer by Colson, and there it finally is! Janmark short-handed, gliding behind. Going to keep it cleanly on his stick. Now finds an open man. Shoots Cooley missed badly. That came off the boards, and it's a 2-on-1. Draisaitl and McDavid. McDavid back to Draisaitl. He scores. Trouba. Janmark holds the zone. Gets it back from Henry. Centers. Bouchard. Wrist shot. Score. 4-0. A little behind Bouchard with that pass. Return to Kapanen. Hard around the net. And roll off the toe of his blade. Bouchard. Backdoor. Slid home brilliantly by McDavid. Last couple of years, Edmonton wins over the New York Rangers have led to greater success. McDavid steal. Waits, shoots and scores.
That one rolled away from him. 6 attackers on the ice for the Capitals. Lars Eller. LaPierre, Eller, one-timer, scores! It was tipped on the way through as McDonough tried to block it and change direction.
He's slowed down by Celebrini. Now Macklin back up with the puck. Takes it off the boards. Across for Eklund. Tried to dangle. Then it comes back. And Walman scores! McCann for Shane Wright. Pops a shot that's blocked by Ceci. And now Walman from way downtown. He scores!
Wild card spot in the Western Conference again. 60 games to go, but somehow around American Thanksgiving, you always start thinking about Podkolzin. Shot, score! Bouchard, McDavid, and that shot went off a stick blade. Nugent Hopkins. Bouchard didn't take the one-timer. McDavid, one-time score! Perry, one-timer, and a block shot by Sergachev saved the go-ahead goal. Draisaitl thought he had it. McDavid fires, scores! Who has been tough on Edmonton. Wheeling his way in, nearly lost the puck, and now did lose the puck. Nugent Hopkins for victory. He scores!
At Prudential Center, Hendrix Lapierre to the outside. Lapierre turning on Pesce. Centering pass, point blank stop, rebound, score! Mangiapane.
Spinning against Taves. One-timer Nugent Hopkins, and that was blocked up top by Makar. Now Taves beaten by McDavid. Taken behind the net, centers, one-timer, score! And another solid stop on Stetcher. Here's Podkolzin, Draisaitl, over to Brown, and now Edmonton buzzing and Colorado hanging on here. Stetcher shot tipped home. Here's an opening. Jeff Skinner. Edge work back to Emerson. Across to Kulak. His shot scores! Held in by Taves to the slot. Broken up. Net empty. Another chance. Henry to the middle of the ice. Nugent Hopkins will seal it. 4-1.
We feel Olivier got injured, and we'll keep an eye on that.
Teams entering tonight. McDavid a steal. A drive to the net. A dish and a one-timer buried. And now it's Draisaitl firing a dart for McDavid, trying to get around Severson, who again got a stick on the puck. McDavid, beautiful feed, backhander, score! And Corey Perry. Jeff Skinner, one-timer, Ekholm to the net, scores! And a 1-0 lead in this game. Edmonton has scored 3 straight. Nugent Hopkins gets it back from McDavid. Here's a shot, Hyman scores! And off the draw, it's pulled out of there by McDavid out to Bouchard. 5th power play opportunity of the game for Edmonton. One-timer score!
Bruins trying to dig it free. On the power play, another 10 seconds. Lohrei shoots, blocked, rebound, they score! Trent Frederic able to backhand one through Kolosov. Drilled a pass ahead, grabbed by Kastelik to Coyle in the slot. Centered. Frederic shoots, he scores! Frederic, second of the day!
But a little whiplash effect, Louis. I don't know whether you caught that.
Absolutely.
That's exactly the kind of hit. Oh, here's a turnover. McDavid shoots and scores! 2-0 Edmonton! Knocked off balance, but able to maintain possession and dish off to Draisaitl. McDavid heads for the net. Tipped home beautifully by Zach Hyman. Outshot soundly tonight, 28-18. And that's news because it's only happened to the Oilers twice. And here's a shot from the corner. I remember him for one thing, and that is for about a 2-year period being the only right-handed player on the Detroit Red Wings. Here's McDavid splitting defense, scoring!
Good job by Podkolzin to get
Nurse, breakaway, Draisaitl in on Vasilevsky, backhander denied. Rebound, carried back in!
Here's a 2-on-1. He scores! What a response by the Sharks!
Regula guy? Regular?
Love it. And Gene, as you know, you're not truly in the league until you meet Bob Stauffer and Draisaitl. He'll curl it back for Draisaitl. Rolling out wide, kind of threw a little elbow inside, and it's buried. Final 12 seconds on the power play as Draisaitl moves in. Threw it across, McDavid and Bouchard. Back to Draisaitl. In front, redirected, score! Nugent Hopkins. Tried to go short side. Pickard has been on it tonight. Kicked that out easily. And now a lead pass for Bouchard. Getting off. Draisaitl somehow redirected that home. Stetcher to McDavid. Trying to move his way through Kaprizov. Hands to Nurse. Stetcher fires, deflected home. Taken away by Draisaitl. And now it's Edmonton's turn on the attack. McDavid building speed. Waiting. Ditching. Open man. Nugent Hopkins scores.
In a game that's 7-1, only 18 minutes for Draisaitl and a little bit more for Connor McDavid, but under what he normally plays.
Backhander save. Rebound. Score. Well defended by Kulak, and now in transition. Yeah, Marquette. Draisaitl didn't see him. Moved it over to Nurse. Backhanded. And Draisaitl scores anyway.
Zach Hyman, collected by McDavid. Kicking it to his stick, Draisaitl. He overskates it. Bouchard, McDavid, Hyman. He scores! That's his dream, he said, right?
We can make that happen.
Yeah. Well, here's a chance. Hyman scores! Matthias Ekholm, Connor McDavid to the outside, Draisaitl. The look over coverage. McDavid gets it. Draisaitl again. He scores! That's his spot. And wedge it by Ekblad. Barry Kapanen gets it. Go to high play for Kulak, who walks the line off the stick, off the glass, but off for Hagee. They score!
Through center. Racing to the outside. Mangiapane. Beautiful curl and drag to the goal mouth. He scores! A highlight reel finish from Andrew Mangiapane.
Pass right back to McDavid. He'll hit the line. On him immediately is McAvoy. Zadorov trying to protect. One time through Swayman by Hyman. Ensure a clear. Stick lifted by Draisaitl. Creates space for Hyman to McDavid for the tie. Score! By Skinner. Now Draisaitl wants a change as Ekholm hits Nugent Hopkins. No, Draisaitl stays on there. Nugent Hopkins to Draisaitl. Forces it on net. Ekholm fires and scores! Georgiev backing up today. Here's McDavid. He looked for the nameplate. Wasn't there. Cross ice. Wrist shot score. This game is tied. Zach Hyman stays high. 20 seconds. Bouchard. McDavid looking. Crossing. Here's the center pass. Score! Ekholm ties it. Draisaitl and McDavid. Draisaitl looking for victory. Over to Bouchard. He's going to back off. McDavid again celebrating. Ditching off. Draisaitl scores! McDavid. Draisaitl. Snapped it in front. Deflected. Rebound. Scores. Zach Hyman. And that'll be plucked off the half wall by Brady Tkachuk, who in my estimation has to enforce his will on this game. Yanmark, one-timer score. Adam Henry. As we talked about Game 7 in 2022. Connor Brown a shot and a rebound pounded home by Kapanen. 1-0 Edmonton. But the Kings haven't played much at home. Off the draw. Oilers power play able to maintain. Hyman coming off the half wall. McDavid in front. Nugent Hopkins scores!
From the original 416 area code, not like those suburban Caps. 2-on-1 chance here. Opens up, fire! Score! Caps get it right back from Mangiapane.
McDavid 33 points in his last 13 games against the Ducks.
That was a set play right there, looking for Hyman.
McDavid. Draisaitl one-timer. Score!
Risky, but it paid off.
Arvidsson steps out of the box and now enters the zone. Dishes to Bouchard. Wrist shot. Score. 2-0 Edmonton. Looking for Hyman. Won a battle with Lundestrom. Gudas came over. Stripped by McDavid in front. One-timer. Score. Draisaitl. Just off the pads of goaltender Stauber. Back to Bouchard. His shot dropped by Stauber in front. Kicked out. Ekholm scores. 15 first period shots generated. Here's a tip by Nugent Hopkins. The dish, Brown to McDavid. Backdoor, Nugent Hopkins finishes. That's his first 5-on-5 goal since November the 19th. McDavid to Brown in over the line. Brown now 9 points in 9 games. Stetcher, shot, score! Draisaitl guides it over to Emerson. Hits Draisaitl, empty net. He scores! Nugent Hopkins to Bouchard. Nugent Hopkins driving and tapped home by Zach Hyman.
Off the boards, it literally came out at a 90-degree angle.
Kulak to Corey Perry. Dropped it for Skinner inside. Nurse, a shot, score! Draisaitl, determined. Keeps it alive for Kulak. Nurse to the middle. Draisaitl fires and scores!
He might have broken in had he handled that pass. Instead feeds the point. Sandin down low. Net score! Mangiapane! Able to one-time one from the corner.
90-93. Bruins win the draw. McAvoy to Frederick. Shoots. He scores! Trent Frederick automatic against Joseph.
Cleared out. Darnell Nurse playing some of the best hockey of his career. Played up by Kulak to Podkolzin. Slithered through Arvidsson to Draisaitl. A one-timer score! Game free to McDavid. Skittering his way into the offensive zone. Finding Kulak. Took a pop in the process, and he's a little shaken up, and the Oilers extend to a 3-0 lead. To the bench. Montour shot. Tipped by Bouchard. Net is empty. Arvidsson to Draisaitl. Blowing a wheel. Bjorkstrand, and Draisaitl will finish it. Empty netter. A shot. And a save made by Swayman. From Anchorage, Alaska, played down low for Corey Perry. Centering pass, Henrique shoots and scores! Short-handed McAvoy to Slapka, denied! Massive stop by Stuart Skinner to keep Edmonton's 1-0 lead intact. Nugent Hopkins, McDavid Broadway, he scores! Low rod. Turned over, Hyman. Skinner inside, Henrique shoots and scores! That hit him? I'm not sure, but in any event, here's a dish to Hyman from McDavid to the net. What a save to Delkovich, and then Draisaitl scores. Rebound shoveled but not out. Ekholm, McDavid, jittering, one-timer score. Draisaitl made no mistake that time, and Edmonton right back in it. Draisaitl looking for his 9th regular season hat trick. McDavid. Nugent Hopkins fires, scores! And Edmonton right back in this game. Holding any kind of lead this year. They've got a losing record when they get the first goal. Draisaitl floats one and then thrown back in front by Arvidsson, and Podkolzin buries it. Makes certain of a zone exit. Leading by 2 goals at home against the Edmonton Oilers. Podkolzin shot rifled and tipped home in front. Token pressure on Bouchard. Chicago packing it in. Draisaitl snapshot. Save. Rebound. Score. Zach Hyman.
John Carlson slap pass deflected wide of UC Saros. Saros and Thompson in this net-minding matchup. Mangiapane backhand. Score!
Moore got caught flat-footed. Here comes Leon Draisaitl. Steaming toward the net. Pulls up. Drags. Waits. Dishes. One-timer. Save. Rebound. Score!
Fan on his pass. The Bruins will come the other way in an odd-man chance. Pucks over the line into the right circle. Centers. They score! Backdoor! Trent Frederick drives it by Vasilevsky.
The 15th that Edmonton has given up 2 power play goals in the same game. McDavid to Draisaitl. Over to Hyman. To the net, and he scores! Nugent Hopkins, Oiler power play back in the top 10. Driven wide by Bouchard. Backdoor score! McDavid ties it up off a brilliant cross-seamer from Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins. Arvidsson. Kulak across. Emerson a shot. Redirected home. What a tip! On the move is Podkolzin. Checked by Middleton. Center pass stuffed home. Darnell Nurse plows into Gustafsson, but this will count. Turns it over. Rossi, and a one-timer denied against Boldy by Pickard. Another massive save. And here's McDavid away 2-on-1. McDavid waits, shoots, and scores! Edmonton's had it for more than a minute now in the offensive zone. Here's Perry. Tried to drag move to the middle, pinch for it, but not out. by Kivaranza. Shot, score! Here's McDavid, shimmies to the left. He had a couple of power play looks in the first. A drive by Draisaitl, save, rebound. McDavid scores, and this game is tied. To the net, McDavid dishes. Hyman shoots wide, another miss. Here's Draisaitl, McDavid again. This time Bouchard, one-timer, score!
Here's McDavid spinning. Myers fell down. Centers. Nurse couldn't put it home. Now they score. Draisaitl. Puck to the line, kept in by Bouchard. Here's McDavid. Across. Nugent-Hopkins. Round the net. To the side. Draisaitl scores his second of the period.
Here's Barron. He fumbles the puck, pressured by Celebrini. A break here for Wennberg with Wallman, who scores!
Edmonton has been outscored 14-4. Washington, as you know, Louis, is the #1 team in the league in the first. Here's a backhander score. And Draisaitl says, well, that's what I think of those numbers. And now Draisaitl trying to fend off the pesky Connor Garland, who's had some big games in this building. What a dish to Zach Hyman, barreling toward the net. Hyman scores! Shooting up high, off of Hyman, clubbed over. Nugent-Hopkins, Hyman added for a second. Benson, one-timer score! Draisaitl, 19 games against Vancouver. Ekholm, down low, backhander score! Adam Henry, 3-0! Regular season game of this series is tonight. Turned over. Here's Philp. Zach Hyman. And again, Louis, not so much the shot clock itself, but the quality of chances tonight. Not close. Nugent-Hopkins and Draisaitl. Nugent-Hopkins fires and scores. Dropped in his tracks by Emerson, who continues to shine on the back end for Edmonton. Captain streaking for the net. Shot saved. Rebound score. And that'll put it away. Derek at the end of his shift will change. Nugent-Hopkins, the captain, a little spin move on his backhand. Takes it behind the net. Rebound score. Nugent-Hopkins, Bouchard, Nurse, centering pass. Nugent-Hopkins scores. Edmonton. Picked off, and Janmark and Nugent-Hopkins the other way. Here's Nugent-Hopkins dishing off. Connor Brown finally pulls the trigger and scores. Montour trying to float one down low, intercepted by Ekholm. Cleared to Draisaitl, back to McDavid, bearing down, shooting, and a save made. Rebound stuffed home. Minute to go. Edmonton 3, Seattle 2. Fired down the middle of the ice, dead center. McDavid 7 power play goals, Draisaitl 9, the 2 leaders on this Edmonton club. Bouchard trying to stuff it in front, fanned on Ray, shot, score!
Ends up in the corner, back to Arvidsson. Bouchard has it to Kulak, gets it back onto the stick, and Bouchard scores! Ryan Nugent-Hopkins ahead, here's Zach Hyman looking maybe to return it. Hyman shooting it, scores!
And the Bruins have it. 3-on-2. They motor the other way. Johansson shaken up behind the play. Frederic shoots. He scores!
Kachuk over skates. Sandin. Sweep it on the outside. Mangiapane fires. He scores! Andrew Mangiapane.
Settle one-timer and he fired wide. Short side. Rebound Bouchard. Now McDavid looking, shooting and scoring. Connor McDavid, his 22nd of the year. Bouchard to Ekholm. McDavid again. Cross-ice one-timer score! Draisaitl's tied the game! Martinez did not get it out. Draisaitl shoots and scores, and Edmonton extends to a 3-1 lead. The league leader, Leon Draisaitl. And that was deflected by Seth Jones. Guided back to Bouchard. Here's McDavid in front, tipped-toed by Zach Hyman, and there it is! Draisaitl wins the face-off. Nugent-Hopkins, Hyman, Bouchard, and McDavid. And here's Draisaitl burying one upstairs to tie the game. Spin move on Necas, crossing. Draisaitl, beautiful move, a shot tonight. Rebound score from his knees! That's 40! So we approach the midway point of this first period. Game tied at 1. Michkov for Philadelphia, Klingberg the equalizer for Edmonton. Centering pass, backhander score! Second in points, first in goals. Draisaitl centers, one-timer, score! Ekholm ties the game at 3. McDavid dialing it up, circling, dishing. Nugent-Hopkins, Draisaitl one-timer, score, and Edmonton takes a 1-0 lead, converting the power play. Duhaime, frustrated, he didn't convert. Punched in front, backhander, score! Ryan Nugent-Hopkins over to Bouchard, and now Leon Draisaitl. 4th in the league with 12 power play goals. Gets it back and scores from McDavid. And Edmonton takes a 1-0 lead. Leon Draisaitl. Here's Draisaitl, right-hand side.
Taken off like everybody and myself expected it to.
But Golson centers. Kulak, a shot, he scores! Up the left-hand side, and it's Samoskevich unable to get it down low. And off that turnover, here's Draisaitl, gets low, shoots and scores! Skinner is on the bench, extra attacker on, 6 on 5 for Edmonton. Down 2, remember. McDavid darts around Barkov, centering pass, a couple of shots and score! Taylor Hall dishes off to rookie Jackson Blake, an errant pass, and the Oilers are away short-handed. Janmark crisscrossing with Adam Henrique. A shot, a kick, save, rebound. Henrique scores. And cross ice stolen. McDavid will dish. Draisaitl shoots off the crossbar. At the horn, Bouchard may have scored.
Bastian turns. Hughes has it. Whirls away from Hayton. Jack feeds Lazar. Snaps on. Score! Curtis Lazar's first goal since November.
Across to Leon Draisaitl. Ekholm lining it up. McDavid. Drag move to Draisaitl. One-timer score. That's a young player just making an inexperienced mistake. Draisaitl. Will he pay for it? McDavid making sure he does. Scores! Corey Perry in the first for Edmonton, the equalizer. And there's Draisaitl. A seeing-eye shot through Sam Montembeault. Edmonton will get the last shot here. McDavid, one-timer score! Evan Bouchard, 3-2! 5-on-5 shift together off of most kills, whether they're successful or not. McDavid, hard in the net, looking, dealing, tucked it home. We're tied. Had some hard luck around the net. That's why the Hyman goal was big. His second goal in 9 games. Wallman, home run. Hyman's got a breakaway. Backhander, score! Shane tucks it in front. Here's a shot by Harley, doesn't make it through. Skinner scrambling down and out. Now McDavid will challenge Lyubushkin. He'll get it on net. A backhand score! Wrapped around the Nurse. Stetcher rolling up top. Got it through. Nurse, a one-timer, he scores! Draisaitl. For the face-off, won it cleanly. McDavid dishes, one-timer score! Chipped out safely. Overrunning the play was Meyer. Here's McDavid to Draisaitl. Shot, he scores! For the puck, but Pesce seems to be in his grill all night long. Shoveled out to Wallman this time. Bouchard from distance, and it's tipped home. Played up by Dobson, swatted away from Lee by Bouchard. Bouchard on the counter. Draisaitl shoots it, scores! D'Angelo got on top of the rebound, Engvall to the net, and Picker picks it off! And it's McDavid and Draisaitl for the victory! He scores! Conservatively over to Kulak for Nurse. Up the left-hand side, Nugent-Hopkins. Out there with McDavid and Janmark. Here's McDavid to the net, scores! Top 5 both power play and penalty kill on the road for Utah. That's a poor pass to Sergachev, and it's going to lead to a short-handed chance. Nugent-Hopkins, backhander, score! Bouchard, power play comes to an end as McDavid spins, hesitates, feeds Nugent-Hopkins, in front, Hyman tucks it home! Stenlund was talking, Louis, you play a good game against Vancouver, you got to back it up. Here's McDavid off a beautiful drop pass, backhander, score! Seen him score like that so many times off the rush. Now pumps it back to Ekholm. Showing slap shot. Now centering and deflects home. 4-0 Edmonton. Lead pass up the right-hand side. Stenlund. Nugent-Hopkins back on top of the puck for the Oilers. Drop pass, but Golson wires and scores. Evan Bouchard, 4th in the league in scoring among defensemen. Setting up Jeff Skinner for a good chance. Handcuff stopper, but he made the save. Here's a shot by Ekholm, and he scores.
Paling, the pass back for Sanheim gets away. This is odd man rush time for Washington. Beauvillier cross ice on the button. Score! Andrew Mangiapane.
Steal by Adam Henrique. He's been around it all night. Wallman to Nurse. Shot. Rebound, score!
Faravari and Ovechkin. Front door. Score!
Ekholm to Nurse. Puck wasn't settled. Ekholm. Shot. Henrique scores! Came in his second year. Later career high 76 points as well. Now Nugent Hopkins off a feed from Kapanen. A wrist shot. Deflected upstairs. Hyman doesn't feel the shot was there. Mahura draped all over him. Nugent Hopkins fires and scores! Jitterbugging to his right and shooting it in. Kakko beaten to the spot by Wallman. Quickly played to Nugent Hopkins. He fires. Bullseye!
Mangiapane with a fresh legs from the sin bin. Cruising back. 3-on-2 developing. Chekrin right up the gut. Mangiapane score!
Bouchard again. Henrique. Down low. Perry. Gave it back to Henrique and he smokes one upstairs. That kick plate. But it's peeled out of there by Nugent Hopkins. Ekholm across. Bouchard. Shot. Save on rebound score. Zach Hyman.
Goal scoring wise for McCann.
One-timer ripped by Wallman and then a save by DeCourt on Hyman. His second shot goes in. Creates a 2-on-1, but a poke check by Nurse knocked it away from Frost, and now Draisaitl races toward the net, shoots and scores, and we are tied. Trying to bank it off Pickard, who made the save. Draisaitl looks up ice. He's got Jeff Skinner, Bouchard to the net. Trailer Draisaitl fires and scores. Eludes Victor Arvidsson. Played back behind the net and disrupted on the cycle. Bouchard. And now drilled home! Draisaitl in his kill spot. Located right on the right face-off dot. Bouchard, Nugent Hopkins, loading, centering, one-timer score! Gudas a tough turnover, a quick dish, and Brown whips on a feed from Perry, who gets it back. One-timer, Wallman score! Dangerously wide by McColson in front. Buchnevich on it for St. Louis. McDavid will beat Tucker to the puck. Chip it out. Nurse a drive and a save and rebound score. Short-handed twice here in the first 7 minutes. Henrique wins a face-off. Bouchard and McDavid. Bouchard a one-timer score. 1-0 Edmonton. Sifted back to Emberson. Bouchard and McDavid. Looked in front for Brown. Now takes it to the net. Backdoor tapped home. Sandberg can't get any weight on it. Power play is over. Scheifele sprints out. Here's Bouchard. Side door tapped home. Adam Henrique buries it against Comrie. Last year, and he was trying to get back and kind of was frustrated with the way things were going and just felt like he could have made a difference. Here's McDavid up top. Emerson a shot. He scores. He's been feeling it lately against San Jose. Around the board, centering pass, and there's Max Jones's first goal as an Oiler. Bit of a microcosm for how the first 40 minutes have gone. Bouchard gives it up. McDavid powers his way to the net. Ditches a one-timer score. To Frederick. Gets it back from Jeff Skinner. Tried to center. That was well defended. A second time. Score! Matthias Janmark. Shot Bouchard wide line off the Nashers. Spun to the corner by Doughty. Wallman desperately able to hold the zone again. Perry to McDavid, challenging Kemper, in front, stuffed home! Clear up the right-hand side. Bouchard to Draisaitl, center ice. 1 minute, 30 seconds to go. Here's McDavid, working his way to the net, and shot score! Good seal to maintain by Klingberg. Digs it out of the skates of Kuzmenko, cuts to the middle, loads and fires, redirected home by Draisaitl. John Klingberg found a lane. 17 points. Here's McDavid, spinning. Checked by Gavin. Ryan Nugent Hopkins. What a setup. It's an obvious goal.
And the stick comes up to Bill defense.
Draisaitl wins the faceoff. Bouchard pounds it. Scores.
It's not how many you
get, it's when you get them. Oilers tied at 4. Here's Draisaitl. The Bouchard power play goal. Saucer back down. He struggled to maintain it. Hyman took it away. McDavid has an open net. He'll skate in and put away game 3.
3:45 remains in regulation. Strome, crisscrossing, closing. Mangiapane scores! Andrew Mangiapane!
Kulak got a wrister to the net and it was kicked out by Kemper. Now Draisaitl, then McDavid. Funneled down low. A quick shot deflected home! Perry with a swing and a miss. Now it's Roman looking for McDavid. Chips it out. Bouchard. Draisaitl loads up. Bouchard fires. Back to Draisaitl. Waits. Nugent Hopkins. McDavid redirects in front. Stand up. Draisaitl scores. Series tied. Jake Walman chips it off of Moore. Grabbed by Podkolzin. Arvidsson a drive. Rebound score. Edmonton has its first lead. Doughty shoots it in. Here's Deneau borrowing inside. Comes free to Draisaitl. Ahead to McDavid. Now Nugent Hopkins shoots and scores. And was able to recover and slip it through Kemper. Save on Frederick. And now Connor Brown shoots and scores. Down low, Zach Hyman has replaced Perry as the net front presence. McDavid in front. Shoots and scores. Draisaitl.
Wonderful atmosphere.
I'd just like you to advance into the center. A deflection upstairs. And Edmonton has its first lead. Arvidsson, 5 minutes to go. Oilers up 3-2. Drop pass, Yano. Podkolzin to Nurse. Wide open. Shoots and scores. Kulak is able to clear it. Brown the other way. McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice, bidding for the equalizer. One-timer ripped by Bouchard off the glove of Hill. Whacked off of Hill, and in the back of the net by Leon Draisaitl. What a play by Darnell Nurse, and it's Klingberg who has possession for Edmonton. A dart to Nugent Hopkins. Kane across. Hyman's open. Shot score! Podkolzin. And allowing the Oiler depth to eventually win it down the stretch. Here's Victor Arvidsson to Podkolzin. One-timer, Walman score!
And the two of them have been really aggressive on the forecheck, and we've talked about the fact that Vegas was just coming out too clean. They're making them work now.
Arvidsson to Podkolzin, shoots and scores! Riley Smith back to the middle. A juicy turnover picked off by Draisaitl, and then he had it roll off his stick. A little frustrated, creating for McDavid. Shatner scores! Hyman has hit the crossbar. McDavid a goal post here in the OT. McDavid beats one man to the net. Draisaitl scores! This time more even off the draw, but plucked out of there by McDavid. Back to Bouchard. Down low, McDavid. Challenged by Shea Theodore. Center pass score!
Line changes, Edmonton's hoping for the same.
Henrique Brown. There's a center pass and buried by Adam Henrique. In the corner, and now Hyman in pursuit. McNabb digging against Evander Kane, who overpowers him. Hyman from behind the net to Kane. Score! Draisaitl, Saucer, Nurse a shot, deflected, Hill's Frederick's in, it's loose, it's in, Edmonton has won the game and the series!
McDavid trying to twist away from traffic. Nurse with it, hands it back to Draisaitl. Downhill scores! What a beauty! Leon Draisaitl to open up those passing lanes. First Knobloch said they've had 24 power play chances. Here's Mulder, scores! Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Up denied. Pumped back by Bouchard for Draisaitl. And here's Bouchard gonna wind up scores. Bouchard had a goal, gives it back to McDavid. Draisaitl in his spot. Hyman in the slot. Bouchard, the shot scores. Tipped by Ryan Nugent Hopkins. And it's on the tape for McDavid working in, dropping it back. Kulak's up on Ripper, scores! Brett Kulak. There's Nugent Hopkins, back defense, scores!
Robertson's stick was caught in the skate of Kulak there.
And here comes McDavid in, walking in, back, McDavid scores! Unable to stop that. Bouchard at the line. McDavid's got it again. To the net. Scores! And played away by Kane. Bishop holds it in. Now a lead feed. Zach Hyman. A three. Scores! Duchesne check. Up popped out. And here comes Evander Kane. Hyman to the net. Scores! Here comes Leon Draisaitl. Over the line, Nugent Hopkins. Draisaitl scores! Off a face-off in the Oilers' own. Puck cleared, empty net. Kasperi Kapanen here in Game 4. That one stopped up for the empty net. Scores! And back into the Oilers' zone. Edmonton scoring on their first shot. The chance here. And Gilbert scores! Picked up by Hintz. Here's the shot, and it's off Ekholm and out. McDavid's got a break. Connor McDavid scores!
This team didn't get swept last year, but they worked hard to get the job done to get a second opportunity at Stanley Cup goal.
That puck is going in the net. Takes him to the end boards. Kapanen crashes in there. Draisaitl trying to feed the point. It'll come back to Wollman. A shot. A rebound in front. Scores! Here comes McDavid. Over the line it goes to Kapanen. Back to McDavid. Flips in front. Chance. Scores! Kicks it back to Bouchard. Back to Nugent Hopkins. McDavid. In front. Scores! A lot of open ice, and this guy can take advantage of that. McDavid drops. Bouchard's in. Bouchard fires, block. Another scores! With a move to the inside. The Forsling got a stick on that. Across it goes for McDavid. Another great cut. Look at that. Near goal! Leon Draisaitl. They're at it again. Draisaitl from McDavid. Connor McDavid. Draisaitl flips across. Nugent Hopkins. And is it in? Yes. And the Oilers are on the board. Skinner tied up. Bump on Frederick. Up with the puck is Edmundson. Ekholm. Nurse. Shooting. Scores. There's Draisaitl with another face-off win. Nurse ventures down. Nurse trying to center it in front of back. Scores. The game is tied. Up against the back of the net for a moment. Reinhardt an outlet. Barkov check. Turned over. Here's a chance. Hits. Scores! Jake Woman! Now with Ekholm. But Colson. Nice pass across. Here's Draisaitl. Here's Nurse. Scores! Leon Draisaitl's won it! The rebound all the way to McDavid. Knocked down there. Ekholm. Bouchard. McDavid to the net. Scores! There's a loose puck in front, and the Oilers get one back. Vasily Podkolzin puts the loose puck in.